Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars, the Black Series, The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon in Dark Trooper armor. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we got the peg hook holder and 2 pieces of tape. That's it. On the front, Star Wars, the Black Series. Nice big window showcasing most of the figure and accessories. Moff Gidion, Dark Trooper armor. He's number 44 in Star Wars, the Mandalorian subline. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up. There is the assortment number if you need that kind of thing. And Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, the window comes around from the front a little bit. And then other than that, all we have, the stripe also comes around from the front and continues on upward at an angle around to the back. Star Wars, the Black Series at the very bottom. On this side, we've got that nice artwork of Moff Gideon. And it lines up with the rest of the Mandalorian subline packaging, at least in these boxes. Star Wars, the Black Series, Moff Gideon, Dark Trooper armor. Moff Gideon has constructed the next generation of Dark Trooper, made of Beskar, harvested from the depths of Mandalore. Unlike previous incarnations, this prototype is a battle suit Gideon wears. There it is again, in some other languages that I don't read. Again, he's number 44 in the Mandalorian subline. Attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Includes figure and 5 accessories. And down here we have small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, Disney print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers to help us take a look at the accessories. And first up, we have this electroshock piece, which we have seen before. I want to say the first inclusion of this piece might have been one of the gaming greats. Imperial figures from Jedi Fallen Order. And then we've seen it several times since. And nice molded details. Molded in a translucent plastic to kind of give it that energy effect illusion. So next up we have his little small blaster, which in the expanded universe, I believe they used to call a holdout blaster. That's how it looks to me. It's got a nice little scope on it. And it does have some nice molded details on it. It's very small. Hence it's a holdout blaster, I guess. But, you know, I think it's a nice little piece. Next up, we have his electro staff spear thing, but it's in its condensed form, and you know, that's what it looks like. And it does have some nice molded details on it. Looks like it's molded in this colored plastic, and then this is darker colors of paint out. And I have to say, it's a nice little piece to include. Next up, we have the extended version of that electro spear thing. So it's molded again in this color, I do believe. This kind of swirly twirly grayish silver kind of plastic. And then here's a paint app, and then here's a paint app. This dark part, and this kind of silver part, and then this dark part here on the end as well. And again, it does have some nice molded details in it. A little bit of paint slop right there, it looks like. So, but for the most part, it's, you know, it's nice looking, it's cool looking. It looks like the piece from the show, at least to me. I didn't look all that close at it, I will admit, on the show. And then last up, I guess you could call this an accessory, but it's this helmet. And it's molded in a shiny black plastic, or a glossy black plastic. And then it's got these red paint apps on it for the T-visor and, you know, this cheek deco, I guess you could say. And, you know, it's kind of cool looking. And the paint app on the visor gives it, I don't know if it's showing up as well on with all the lights and stuff, but it kind of has, you know, an effect to it where it looks like it's lit up, and it might have a little bit of like glitter or something specks in that paint as well. And it does seem to be just slightly off from this, but I think it's because of that. They're trying to make it look like it's lit up effect. And then of course it's got these Darth Maul type horns on the top of it. And then this molded piece here and over here. And also it does have some molded details right in here along the outer bottom edge of the helmet, and that's on both sides. So that's kind of neat. So there's that. Now let's take a look at Moff Gidion himself. And I have to say, this is a really, really good likeness. And now I will say, I don't know if the hair's quite right. It's been a little while since I've watched season 3 of Mando, so I don't know if his hair was, you know, kind of like this color or not. But to me it seems just a shade or two light, but it does have a nice little wash in there that you can, I guess you can see. I hope you can see it. And then, you know, really, really nice molded details there on the face. Like I said, the likeness is really, really good. And then the paint apps, of course, are the inkjet, and they look really, really good as well. They match the sculpt to me. Now, as far as the rest of it goes, we've got a little bit of paint app going on here. Some red here on the top and bottom of the belt, and the silver for the buckle. And that red does go all the way around to this back plate, or buckle, or fastener, or I don't know. But you can see he's got some nice textural details there on, you know, the butt of his suit, because the armor doesn't actually come down that far. That's, you know, like the cloth part of it, like here on the legs. And nice sculpted detail there too, textural as well, and on the front too. So there's that. And then, you know, the stuff molded into the gauntlet, which is kind of hard to see because of the, you know, it's all black and there's nothing to really help it stand out. But it does have some details in there. And then, you know, we've got, you know, this detail right here, and of course this Mandalorian symbol with the little paint app in it. And then that really does it for the paint apps. He's got this holster here. This strap does unpeg. It has a little post on it right there, and then a port right there that it goes into, and the gun does fit into it, although it's not very snug, and this strap really doesn't help holding it in. So if you're turning him upside down, beware that you may lose that piece. So just nice sculpted details throughout. Even again, if it's hard to tell it even in all this light because of it being this glossy black. So there's that. Now let's talk about his soft goods cape, which I'm glad it's a soft goods cape. Don't get me wrong on that. But rather than just leaving the backpack where we can put it on or pull it off and adjust the cape, it is, you know, pegged into his back. It's glued on. It does not come off. So there is no adjusting the cape. So you kind of got it's like, you know, hiked up on this side and then it's flat on this side. I would have liked to have been able to adjust that a little bit. But alas, it is not to be. Maybe now it's just jacked up on both sides. So, and then I didn't take a look at the jetpack, but again, it does have some nice molded details in there, and again, they're hard to see because it's all in this black. A little bit of a paint app right here might not have hurt. Wouldn't have hurt my feelings anyway. So there is that. Now let's talk about his articulation. Oh, this armor piece here, this upper torso armor piece, is an overlay. It's not sculpted. Well, I mean, the overlay is sculpted, but it's not sculpted into the figure. It's an overlay that was added. So that may be some of this piece being glued in. I don't know. But let's take a look at his articulation. He can look up that high, and his head is on a dumbbell and a ball joint at the lower neck, and the neck is separate from the head and the torso. So that's nice in a lot of cases, not in every case. He looks down that far, so not for that much articulation. There's not a lot of range going on. So he's got a little chicken neck. Haha, chicken neck from the Chicken Man. And then he will do some waggle. Most of it's at that ball joint in the neck, although you can get a little bit out of right below the head. He will do the full exorcist at the shoulder. This armor piece is like they're doing them all now. It's got a strap down and the arm pins through it, so it moves with the arm, or at least it's supposed to. So it will do 360 degrees of rotation there. And then you have to line it back up. So he can raise his arm up that high. So that's really good range right there. And I want to say there's a little bit of butterfly in there, I think. So back that far, forward that far. Not very much. I don't even know why they put that in there, because it really doesn't do anything. So at the elbow, single hinge and swivel. Swivels around 360 degrees and gives you that much bend, which is better than 90, so that's good. 360 degrees at the wrist, and it's on that Indiana Jones Adventure Series style ball, so no hinge. So there's a half dumbbell that comes out from the forearm, and the hand just ports onto the ball there. So you get all kinds of swivel in and out, up and down, all around, and both sides are like that, and I hope they continue with that. I think I like that better than the hinges. So there's a cut here where the chest and mid-torso kind of meet, and it will rotate 360 degrees. There is also a ball joint here at the waist that allows 360 degrees of movement, and in conjunction, you know, you get all kinds of hula there. He can lean left and right. He can lean back that far, which is actually pretty good, and then forward that far, which isn't bad. It could be better. So at the hips, even with no pull down hinge, he gives you the full split. So that is great, especially for Black Series. He kicks forward approximately 90 degrees, or at least some of his leg reaches 90 degrees there. So that's nice. Not even a half of his own footstep will his leg move backwards. Where the thigh inserts into the armor. There's a cut in here that's disguised, but at least I say there is. No, there's not. That's odd. Maybe it's because he got a waist and a torso cut. I don't know. So single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you, we'll call that 90 degrees worth of bend. Nothing in the shin at the ankle tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, one of the other things about this figure, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, is the helmet. Okay, the helmet, it does fit on the head, and it's not real snug like that Target Din Djarin that had the removable helmet where, you know, his nose is literally pushing up against and you can see where his nose is in the helmet. So this one doesn't fit anywhere near that tight, but it also doesn't like to stay on. So there is that, and there will be lots of readjusting with the helmet on, or you can adjust the head, but you know, and it's almost like the helmet isn't quite long enough there at the chin, and I think that's partially due to the design of the costume and not all the fault of the figure. But you know, you play with it some, you'll get it where you want it. Maybe not. So as far as storage goes, he does have this holster for his little holdout pistol, and like I said, that strap doesn't do a whole lot to hold it in place, and so it's there, and it's actually staying right now because of course it is, because I said it wasn't going to stay, and the helmet stayed on his head too. How about that? So there's no storage for this. It would have been nice to, you know, been able to store it back here. Maybe I'll do something with some magnets. But he can hold it in his hand, and this, of course, he also has to hold in his hand, and it likes to kind of slip through there. And then this piece kind of just, it's open on this side, so you just kind of stick it in there and twist it around and trying to get it into the position that you want it in. And then this one, of course, he just has to hold in his hand. So he's got two, because, you know, he's a Moff and he's the boss, at least of this Mandalorian sector. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon in Dark Trooper armor, with Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon, Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Imperial Armored Commando, Star Wars The Black Series, Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, Globus Ringworld, and Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Bo-Katan Kryze. For our last set of comparisons here, we have Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon in Dark Trooper armor, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars The Black Series, the Mandalorian, Moff Gideon in Dark Trooper armor. I have to say, overall, this is a pretty good figure with a few minor nitpicks, I guess. Maybe it's a nitpick by me. Might be something a little more major to you. Number one, it's been a while since I've seen Mandalorian Season 3, but I just feel like the hair might be a little bit on the light side. More maybe than what it should be, although the washing stuff in it does look good. The plastic on the face, while not, super shiny, it's still a little bit shinier than I would have liked. The helmet is quite loose. It's just a little bit big for the head. And, I feel like Hasbro's still trying to zero in on helmet size. And so a little bit of foam or something stuffed in the back of it will probably fix the issue. But I don't want too much, because I don't want like that first Mandalorian with the removable helmet. Din Djarin, I think it was the Target pack, that first Target pack with Grogu, where the helmet was so tight that, his nose is pushing on. You can see where his nose is on the helmet. So, I mean, it's good that this one doesn't do that, but it's just a little bit looser than I would prefer. The last thing is the way that the cape sits. When they put the holes in it and glued the jetpack in or something, the cape just wasn't sitting right. And even from pictures that I've seen of it, that seems to be the case across the board. And, I'm sure that, we could unglue the backpack and maybe straighten the cape out, or maybe there's another way to, like, wet the cape and spray it with some hairspray or something. I don't know. But, on that one side there, it's a little jacked up. And it just kind of throws the overall look off a little bit. The silhouette, it makes it come off not quite right. And while it's okay, it's not, I think that's, Hasbro quality assurance at work again there. And I said that was the last thing, but there was one more thing. The paint tampo on the cheek of the left side as it's coming around now of the helmet, the tampo or whatever it was that they used on. I'm assuming it was a tampo. It's just off just a little bit. So there is that. Other than that, the likeness on this is great. The armor looks really good. And as far out as it's been from the Mandalorian that they put this guy out, I'm sure it's fairly screen accurate. I think his accessories are, appropriate accessories. The collapsed staff and extended staff, the holdout blaster, the electrical effect, all feel like they're appropriate to this figure. And I guess you call the helmet an accessory if you wanted to, but I don't. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.